I have with me a man who likes to boogie on a Saturday night. And can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, on a Sunday night as well. My name is Daniels, and I'm the lead singer and lead guitarist from T Rextasy.
You put on a great performance. How was it for you?
Great, it's great. I mean, we played Glastonbudget quite a few times over the years. We were one of the first bands to actually play the very first Glastonbudget. Whenever that was, we were here right from the start. So
how long ago was that?
A good few years.
Yeah.
Other than sort of missing the odd year, it's lovely to get back here and give it to them all again.
You certainly got the look. I mean, the T Rex thing, did that just kind of drop in your lap, or did it take you a while to find? Have you done other tributes?
No, I would never do it. If I didn't do the T Rex thing, I wouldn't do anyone else. I mean, Mark Bolan's been kind of an idol of mine since like 1972, and
Right.
so I was like I'm not a lot of musicians really that do tributes. They go through writing their own material, can't get the deal.
Yeah.
I know what I'll do. I'll form a tribute. When I formed T Rextasy, it was in 1992. There were no tribute bands. There was the Counterfeit Stones, Bootleg Beatles, Beyond Again, Australian Doors, most of them from Australia. So when I formed T Rextasy, I just wanted to show people. Mark Bolan wasn't this fey guy on Top of the Pops that used to mime his guitar.
Yeah.
He was a rock and roller, and I wanted to portray that side of Mark Bolan, really give it some rock and roll.
So how long have you been performing then? A few years from the sound of it?
I was in an original band in the 80s called Tarazara, a rock band, and then again I didn't get the deal I wanted.
Yeah.
A few years passed, I thought, I'm just going to go out there, play a few pubs 2 or 3 times a month, see what happens.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it must have been about 6 months later, we started getting gigs with, you remember Slade and Sweet and Gary Glitter?
Yeah.
We were playing all these big gigs with these people, and I thought, this is okay. And then we went out on our own, and we started filling theatres on our own. And 25 years down the line, I'm still doing it because it still feels great.
And I've got to say, you're doing it very well. Daniel, you clearly used a lot of confidence on stage. Do you still get the butterflies before you go on?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. I think if the day comes that I'm not nervous at all, I think that's the day to stop.
Yeah.
You've got to have that anxiety and think, oh my God, is it going to be okay? Is my guitar okay? Is my voice going to be all right?
Yeah.
Are the crowd going to like it? I still feel that 25 years down the line, but as soon as you go on and hit that first chord, it's always amazing. And I love every single gig because every single gig to me kind of feels like the first time.
Yeah.
Because I just love doing it.
Did you ever meet Mark?
Never met Mark, but I did have original people in the band. I mean, Mark's keyboard player, Dino Dines, real seasoned keyboard player. He was in T Rextasy for the last few years of his life. He sadly died of a heart attack. Otherwise, he'd still be with me now.
Right.
But it was, crazy having an original member in my tribute band. But we've had, Mickey Finn on stage with us, who's no longer around again.
Yeah.
And we've had people like, I played with Miller Anderson, who was Mark's second guitarist, Jack Green, who was Mark's second guitarist. They've been guests. Bill Legend, Mark's original drummer. I played with him a few times. So it's nice to have original T-Rex people,
Cool, yeah, sure.
Giving us their sort of endorsement, if you like.
Yeah.
And what's nice is great, people that own Mark Bolan's catalogue, Edsel and Spirit, they've endorsed us as like the actual official tribute, which is nice.
Yeah. Also, Daniels, I mean, June Bolan, Mark's wife, after seeing you guys perform at Wembley Arena, commented, if there was anyone to follow in Mark's shoes, I'd like it to be you. That must have been fantastic.
That was nice. I mean, that was in the early 90s. We did all the big arenas. We played like Wembley Arena and the Birmingham NEC and all those sort of big places with Gary Glitter. June Bolan knew Gary Glitter's manager, so she didn't come to see me, she came to see Gary Glitter.
Right.
And then we were supporting, we went on stage, and that's when she saw, and literally she said, my God, when I saw Daniels on stage, I nearly had a heart attack. And we used to use that as like a tagline, but the reason we took that out is because sadly a few years later, she was on holiday in Turkey, she actually died of a heart attack, so we thought it was in bad taste to use that quote.
Right.
But that's what she said, and we spent a long time backstage Wembley Arena chatting about Mark and her marriage to Mark and what great times they had, and she still wore Mark's red wedding ring, even though they were kind of split up at that time, but she actually still wore his wedding ring, which was quite nice. Yeah.
Well, which track do you like most, performing most?
Probably, I would say album tracks, which you don't get a chance, because our regular show in theatres, it's 2 hours long.
Right.
We go out and do an hour, we do a few acoustic songs with the band as well, then we go off, we come back, and then we do an hour of hits. So my favourite tracks really to play live is kind of showing people, new fans, listen to this track, you've never heard this before probably, and them emailing later and say, what's that track, third song, first set?
Yeah.
And it could be like a song called Jitterbug Love or something, and it's a B-side.
Yeah.
And they said, that song was fantastic. So getting new people into the fold, if you like,
Yeah.
kind of brings me a lot of pleasure really, to think that, yeah, if we hadn't played that song, they would never have heard that song before.
So the catalogue you select for the festivals, obviously a festival performance differs from a...
Greatly. It's
show.
got to be, because at festivals, most people are, kind of casual people who want to hear the singles. They want to hear the hits. And if you don't play the hits, then they go away disappointed.
Yeah.
Our theatre shows are different because we gain hundreds of diehard fans, people that were there at the time. They want to hear acoustic songs. They
Yeah.
want to hear B-sides. They want to hear the odd album track,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So it's a lot of scope. So we can play lots of different songs, but doing festivals is great fun.
Sure.
Because every song's a hit. And tonight it was great because we thought, let's do Teenage Kicks by
Yeah.
the Undertones, because it's got that kind of that. He had that vibrato in his voice, and we thought the Undertones. Great song. John Peel, who loved T Rex, also loved the Undertones.
Yeah.
That was his favourite song of all time, Teenage Kicks. We thought it's a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
Same as Summertime Blues,
Daniels, I mean, we could talk on that. Just one final question. Has there been a sort of a standout funny moment or disaster, in all those years performing?
Yeah, there's been a few, some embarrassing ones. I think the most embarrassing one was actually the one that springs to mind is in Japan. It's our second tour of Japan, and I used to wear a pack on my back instead of a guitar lead.
Yeah.
They didn't have bugs those days. It had to be a pack, guitar pack, and I actually slipped because I wear these shoes that I'm wearing. They're called Anello and David shoes. This is what Mark wore.
Oh.
He never used to wear stack heels. He used to wear these women's tap shoes.
Yeah.
And there's no sole on them. So the stage was really slippy. And I do a lot of kicks and stuff.
Yeah.
And I kicked and I fell right on my back, right on my back. The worst thing, it smashed into my guitar.
Right.
The
amplifier,
and everything for that couple of minutes. It seemed
Yeah.
like hours. A couple of minutes. The show had to stop because I had to sort of sort out my guitar. But so that wasn't too. It was. Looking back now, it's funny. But at the time, especially when the people watching you were like a few hundred Japanese people, you couldn't explain what happened because they're Japanese. So that made it kind of worse. If it was in this country, I could have said, laugh it off. This is what happened. But it's very difficult for hundreds of Japanese people who never spoke English.
Yeah.
So it all made it snowball into this catastrophe. But thankfully, I use a guitar bug now, and that doesn't happen anymore.
Fantastic, Daniels. I mean, you clearly enjoy what you do, and you were awesome tonight. So
Thank you.
Thanks for entertaining us.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Fantastic.